Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Rohr Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Lara Sturm.
Welcome to episode 137. How many kilos is that, Josh?
Off the top of my head, 62.14 something.
No, that was off the top of your head. I mean, you're that good with kilos.
Yeah, I definitely didn't calculate that ahead of time.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. All right. So I'm looking at our itinerary for today's discussion, and you said walking/biking on the correct side of the road. So are you about to go off on a rant?
Yeah, I have a pet peeve. So basically, when we are... So this kind of goes along with driving songs, right? Because we go on walks with Emma around the neighborhood, and there are a lot of my neighbors or people in the neighborhood that are walking on. Well, let me ask you first, which side of the road do you walk on if there's no sidewalk?
Whichever side's safer. Around here, it's like there's no sidewalk. There's nothing, and people fly. So if there's more of a shoulder on one side, I don't walk on the road. Let me just say, around here, it'd be taking your life in your hands.
Okay, well, assuming you're on like city streets, like where the traffic's not crazy, like what side of it? Like, what's the rule? Like,
I would walk with traffic behind me.
So walking in the same direction as traffic.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, you are wrong, and you are the problem. So the actual law is you walk facing traffic. That way you can see cars coming because. And that's actually and apparently nobody in Georgia knows this because everybody is walking like in the same direction as traffic. But the actual law, and if you go to the U.S. Department of Transportation, it very specifically says you always walk facing traffic if there are no sidewalks. You ride a bike in the same direction as traffic, but you walk or run. So if you're on foot, you go against traffic. If you're on a bike, you go with traffic.
Yeah, that makes sense. So that you'd see a car before it runs you over.
Right.
Or you'd get out of its way.
Yeah. But anyway, there have been a few, I won't say confrontations, but there's been a few like, I'm not going to switch sides of the road. And then the other person's like, I'm not going to switch sides of the road, but I just refuse to back down because I am correct in walking against traffic. Because everybody in Georgia is walking with traffic on the right side, and you're supposed to walk on the left side. So I just stand there and just look at them and let them walk around me. And they look at me like, you're crazy. Why is this guy being a jerk? But I'm like, so I did make a social media post with the quotes from the Department of Transportation and posted it in our neighborhood Facebook group. But I just said it as like, spring's here. Don't forget to be safe, and posted it.
Well, I mean, that's good education, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just assumed it was the same way as biking.
So that's crazy to me. Like that's something like I've known like all my life, and I never even I grew up in the country and we didn't really even walk on the roads
because you didn't need to.
Well, there's nowhere to go. Like if you walk on the roads, you're basically like taking like a 5-mile trip somewhere because where are you going to go?
Right.
I guess you could do it for exercise, but like I lifted, I didn't walk back then. But I guess that's the thing. Like I've just known that was the rule all my life. I don't know why I know that. And it's crazy to me that people here don't know that.
No, people don't know it.
Yeah.
You need to go on a crusade to educate people.
Oh, I am. And we're starting with this
fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Wow. So who have you been like? Is it other walkers that are?
Yeah. And like some of them are people with like infant too, like pushing them in a stroller, like walking directly at me when I'm walking on the correct side and they're on the wrong side, and they're just like giving me a look like, how dare you make me cross the road?
Yeah, right. My baby is better than your baby.
Yeah, you're being negligent. But thing is, I'm not changing. Like I'll literally stand there in a stalemate if we both stop, and I'll just wait it out. I don't care. Out of principle.
Wow. Yeah. Well, when you're right, you're right.
But it's never got to that point because everybody like it's almost like playing chicken, like slow motion walking chicken. Like
Yeah.
we keep getting closer, and I'm making it very clear that I'm not changing sides of the road. So then at the last minute they cross over and give me like a dirty look.
But now you've caused them to walk the correct side of the road.
No, they crossed back over. Like after they got past me, they went back to the same side. So they clearly thought they were right, just like you did.
Yeah, right. Huh. That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, aren't people great?
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
I have a like Achilles heel when I know I'm right about something. I want to like chew on it like a damn pit bull and never let go of it because or when someone's doing something to me that I know is wrong, right? I'll give you an example. You want one?
yes, I do.
Here I am living out in the country, right? I
Yeah.
live out in the country. I moved out of Johns Creek so I could live out in the country. What is the prize thing about living in the country?
Quiet, seeing the stars.
Quiet. Wow, you got it. First one. I have a neighbor who hasn't even built his house across the street yet. The property was for sale. Bought the property, I guess. Constructed a professional paintball field on it and invited 300 of his closest friends and relatives to not pay him because it's not a commercial thing, to go play paintball. So when he was rolling he was doing this like 4 weekends in a row before it stopped for right now. It sounded like a goddamn battlefield in my front yard.
A freaking paintball field?
Paintball field. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's so loud. It's so loud. Like I've got video. I'll be happy to share with anyone who wants to see this because I've talked to council members, the marshal, a lot of people about this.
Wow.
City Hall. Like, yeah, it's bad. All of my neighbors are pissed off. And my neighbor's not even living there yet. So talk about like pissing off your neighbors before you even get your house finished. Yeah. Bad.
Got it. Well, so
who does that? That's called a douchebag.
On a positive note, so when we do karaoke in the barn for the training weekend, we will not be the most hated neighbors that weekend potentially.
We will not, definitely. No. Well, and when you move to the country, and I actually wrote a speech for a city council meeting. I'm like, when you move to the country, you expect random things to happen. I had a cow walking down my street the other day. There's dogs that bark. There's shit that happens. People shoot their guns all the time, but it's not like for 8 hours at a friggin' time. But anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah.
So things that are wrong.
Yeah.
People shouldn't do that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
Yeah. And where I live, it's like a valley. So the people up above me, it's actually louder up there. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, when all our lifters are there training, we should all just show up at their door. But they don't have a door because you said they didn't build the house yet. Or did they?
They haven't built a house. Well, it's there, but they're not occupied. Yeah.
Got it.
But hopefully they're shut down for good. We'll see. They're running at the venue where Jeep Fest is. So, hey, I love paintball. It's a great sport, but it's not supposed to be in my front yard.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Crazy people. Cool. Anyway, so what's going on in powerlifting?
I don't know, but that was fun. We each had a great. That's good. I feel like we haven't had that in a while.
Fun.
New Georgia meet just added to the calendar. LiftFueled. Jaslyn Pepper is running that meet July 1st in Suwannee. So
what does that name represent? Is that a product? LiftFueled?
Fueled by Pepper is her coaching company.
Oh, okay.
So LiftFueled.
Makes sense. I like it. All right. So we're going to dive right into our powerlifting songs. Wait, not powerlifting songs. Driving songs.
Driving songs. Number one.
I'm all pumped up.
Are you?
So I am. I'm all pumped up. All right. So this week's is our number one driving song. So this should be the best song, right, for driving. If this is your number one song, you're driving to this song, damn it. Let's go. The first song on the list is Panama by Van Halen.
Yes.
I love Van Halen.
Yep. Me too.
In that song. Yes. The audio could probably be a little bit louder. Sorry.
Okay.
Man, I love that. That whole album is really good. I think that was right before Van Halen broke up with David Lee Roth. So sad. Anyway, the reason for this song was the ultimate spring break song, visiting the Redneck Riviera, which I would believe would be Panama City. You don't know.
I have no
You
idea.
don't know.
I just
You
like
don't
the
know
song.
what the Redneck Riviera is.
I don't. I just like the song.
I mean, it's almost like a regional pop culture thing, the Redneck Riviera. That'd be called Panama City Beach.
Cool.
Truly. Now you know. All right. The next song on the list is Band on the Run. I don't recall the artist, but I did put it in the list.
Wings.
That's right. Thank you.
If we ever get out of here.
It's a good one.
It's a good song. I don't know if it would be on my driving list. That's a great song.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good like song to drive to if you had it like really loud, driving through the country, you know?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. The reasoning for this, and I'm like, is this, I don't know if I'm reading this right. It's Maca. I don't know what that would mean.
Again, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Maca. Do I need to say more? Apparently you do, because I don't know what Maca means. Maybe it was a typo. It's supposed to be magical, or it's McCartney.
I don't know.
Is that what Maca? Sorry. All right, we're just going to move on. Pretend that didn't happen. The next song is "Wanted, Dead or Alive" by Bon Jovi.
I love that song, and I love it as a driving song. It
Yes.
is great.
I think I have my karaoke song now picked out for the barn.
Yeah,
It's a great song.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
I love it for driving. I love it. Actually, it's on my lifting playlist. It's on just like, so I have a playlist in my truck. And if I would have thought about this, I would have just like pulled some songs off of that. But I have truck jams. It's like 50 songs of just like cruising.
Truck jams.
Yeah, and there's subcategories in truck jams. There is cruising for a bruising, which is basically just like, you know, cruising mellow songs. And then there's hype. And then there's max hype. So those are the three subcategories of truck jams in Josh's truck.
Wow. Yeah, I think we're going to need a smattering of these. Maybe next week.
I missed my window though to get them submitted here.
Yeah, you know, but we have to have some other music things to talk about. So there you go. True. So the person who submitted this song says, just a great song to listen to wherever you are.
Agreed. I mean, that's almost exactly what I was, I guess, alluding to. Like, it's on all my different playlists.
I mean, you were kind of like green eggs and ham there. Like, I will listen to this song on a train, on a boat, in an airplane.
My jam.
That's cool. All right. The next song is one that's already made it to our list, but this time it is in the number one spot. Highway to Hell by AC/DC.
Yeah, that's right. We said if we had subcategories of like, you know, driving to your mother-in-law's house, like this could be the thing. I remember that now.
Yep.
But it's a great song. I love that song.
It is a great song. I mean, you can't go wrong with that song.
Yeah.
So this is the long story. All right. Off their sixth album, the first to chart in the United States, 7 million copies. The title track, Highway to Hell, was the nickname for the Canning Highway in Australia. Didn't know that. It runs from where lead singer Bon Scott lived in Fremantle, and ends at a pub bar called the Raffles, which was a big rock and roll drinking hole in the 70s. As Canning Highway gets close to the pub, it dips down into a steep decline. No stop signs, speed limits. Nobody going to slow me down. Many people were killed by driving fast over that intersection on the way for a good night out. It was called the highway to hell. So when Bond was saying, I'm on the highway to hell, it meant that he was doing the nightly or weekly pilgrimage down to Canning Highway to the Raffles Bar to rock and drink with his mates. Ain't nothing I would rather do than going down, party time. My friends are going to be there too. Huh. That's what that means. Cool. There is no doubt this song would top my list, the greatest driving song ever made.
That is interesting. So it literally is about driving. Never knew that.
Yeah, driving to a specific place so they
Yeah.
can go drinking with his buddies.
Again, this isn't fact checked, but I mean, if that's made up, that's pretty elaborate. That sounds pretty good.
That would be pretty good to make that up. That would be like oddly specific. Perfect to make it up. So
Ooh,
great story.
I bet Chat GPT could make up like fake explanations for songs.
All right, here's a weird thing. Have you ever been to the Villages
No.
in Florida? It's like this place where people live when they live in Florida and they're old.
Is that in Tampa? Like near Tampa?
It's outside of Tampa. Yeah.
Then yes, I have.
Yes, it's outside of Tampa. It's like an hour north-ish of Tampa.
So isn't that the place that's got like the highest like STDs among like retirement places?
Yes, and
I've been there.
alcoholism.
I've been there.
Yeah, rocking. So the funny thing about the Villages is that they have like in part of their town, you can walk around. There's like these historical placards. All of the stories are completely made up, and they're oddly eccentric and randomly specific. So whoever wrote them was having a good time, probably drinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check those out next time I'm there. I don't know when that'll be, but
hopefully not for a while. It's a little odd of a place.
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, the Villages. I only know this because my father lives there part-time, and yeah, highest STD rate and rate of alcoholism because they have beer on tap. But that's just, I don't know if that's fact checked either, or if that's just the reputation.
Yeah.
There you go. Highway to Hell. Awesome song.
Yeah.
The next song is another AC/DC song. Coincidence? It is Ride On by AC/DC.
What am I gonna do?
Not my favorite AC/DC song, but not bad.
It's a mellow song for AC/DC.
It is.
It's kind of chill.
That. Yeah.
I actually like it. The reasoning behind the song says, I listened to the song like 100 times while driving from Michigan to Daytona Beach. Never gets old.
I think it might get old for me.
You're like, no, that would get old. All right. The next song, I'm not sure I would agree with, but good song. You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left.
So I give this 2 thumbs up. I love that song, and I think I get it. It's a get excited for the road trip type song. I like it.
I like the song. I don't know that I'd drive very long to it because I went through a bad breakup right around this time when that song went out. And it brings me right back and it makes me just go, oh, I can't.
Okay, well,
That's just me.
separate from that, I think it can be a pretty good driving song.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a car and you're like singing that song, like it connects with your soul? Yeah, this song.
So it is a good. So you're saying it is a good driving song.
Yeah,
You just made the argument for it.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't want to relive it. Maybe don't want to reconnect with that moment.
I mean that's fair, but as we're not even unbiased like hosts, like we don't care. So.
All right, great driving song, especially because it can connect with all the feels, and it can be pretty authentic.
Yep.
A little too authentic for some. So the reasoning behind the song says, "Let's face it, You Ought to Know" was my favorite driving song in 2008. And would have been my favorite in 2023. This song is everything you need in a song to belt out while driving, especially when you were leaving the gym. Think about the first line of the chorus, and I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. Now think about that jerk in your gym who never wrecks their weights, or the person who uses a ridiculous amount of baby powder for deadlifts. It's the pinnacle of breakup songs in the 90s, but more importantly, the number one driving song of the playlist that should win, but will inevitably lose in the first round of this contest.
I like it. Somebody that knows where they stand. And it's funny because I have no idea who that is. I love it. This is so much more fun to me that I don't know the names of who's submitting this stuff. It'll be really
Yeah.
fun when we find out.
Yes, the big reveals.
Yeah.
All right, the next song, Highway Star by Deep Purple.
Nobody gonna take my car, I'm gonna race it to the ground.
Great song.
Amazing song. Basically anything by Deep Purple, but this song in particular, great song. So the reasoning for this is memories of driving down Route 1 in a Super B.
Oh, a Super B.
Dodge Super B. Do you remember that car?
Little Mopar. Yeah, I remember it.
Sick car. I don't think many of them are around.
It was a Dodge or a Chrysler or Plymouth.
I believe it was a Dodge. I'll have to look that up.
All right. A Super B was a Dodge. You're right. It was a Super B. Dodge Super B. Okay.
Yeah. Yellow with a black stripe.
I just know a lot of them cars were kind of very similar. So like Dodge, Chrysler, Plymouth were all Mopar, and they were all like they all had a very similar variation.
Yep.
To some
Very
of the other
much.
models.
Yeah. Those old cars were cool as shit.
Yep. Agreed. I miss mine.
You had a Dodge Super B?
No, you didn't. I had my first car was a 72 Challenger.
Nice.
Yeah.
I had a Dodge Charger.
Did you really?
71.
Wow, I never knew this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad's first car was a 73 Challenger, and mine was a 72 Challenger. I know mine was older than his. It's funny. Yeah.
Funny.
I actually bought it when I was 14 and couldn't drive it until I was obviously 16, but yeah.
Wow. So you kept it.
Yep. Stored it in the barn. Just like kept it. I actually bought it at a car show. Like it was in pretty good, like, so exterior wise and like upholstery and everything was great, but like there were some issues with the engine I had to work on. Some of the suspension I had to work on, and ultimately the park and the transmission broke, so there was no park. I ended up selling it to pay for college, but it was a great car and I loved it and I miss it. And I would like to actually track it down one day, but I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Right. Man, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Buy your old car back.
Yeah.
If it still exists somewhere.
If it still exists.
Man. Yeah. Well, I know my car doesn't because I fucked it up.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. You know that Dodge Charger in that classic TV show, Dukes of Hazzards?
Yeah.
Where they had to get in and out of the window.
Yeah.
So did I.
You had to, or you chose to?
I had to because the doors didn't open anymore after I fucked it up.
So I was a big fan of Dukes of Hazzard for that very reason, actually. So I used to, I guess before I got mine, so I would have been younger than 14 with my dad's, I would wear cowboy boots and get in and out of the window, even though the door's open just fine.
Just cause.
Just cause.
Just cause.
Yeah.
Wow. There was a story recently in the news where one of those original cars that they used in Dukes of Hazzard got fucked up on the highway.
Really?
Yeah, totaled. So sad. There was only like 27 of them left.
Oh, right.
They used like 250 of those cars, and some of them were like disposable. They trashed those cars.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the playlist.
We digress.
We do. Next song is I Got a Name by Jim Croce.
Like a north wind whistling down the sky.
I don't know that song.
What?
I don't know that song.
Okay, I did hear you, but I'm just like, wait, what? Okay, you have heard of Jim Croce? Am I even pronouncing that wrong? Croce?
I don't know. I have not. I've not heard of it.
Okay. I know it's just one of those things. All right. So you have some musical homework to do.
I have so many good qualities, and then I go and do something like this.
I know, pretty much. I don't even understand it. All right. So this person says Jim Croce is one of my musical heroes, as it should be. Wistful, heartfelt tunes like Time in a Bottle and I'd Have to Say I Love You in a Song. Still doesn't ring a bell for Josh. These are gems. I Got a Name is one of my favorites. It captures the desire to be known, to accomplish, to leave a legacy, and to share that journey with another. Perfect. Ooh, great description.
Great description, but yeah, swing and a miss on all those points for me. I got nothing there.
Oh, gosh, Josh. All right. Granted, you weren't alive when that song really was out, so it's okay. I'm going to move on. Next song is also a song before you were born. Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
So I think that's the only clip we need for people to know what this song
Pretty
is.
much. Yes.
Yeah, we don't even have to hear the lyrics. We know what it is. We know it's great. Did you see the new Top Gun?
Never did because I really don't like Tom Cruise.
You get out of here.
I don't like Tom Cruise. I don't like the whole Scientology thing. I don't like how much money he's put towards it. He's not a good person.
Don't care. He's got great movies. I don't know anything about any of that stuff that you just mentioned. So I just know I love Top Gun, and Top Gun 2. Well, Top Gun Maverick was even better than the first one, and I thought that was impossible.
I heard that, and I just still can't bring myself to watch it because in some way and somehow I'd be feeding the machine. No, not doing it. So I'm going to forgive that movie and I'm just going to walk away.
Okay.
Yeah, like he'd know.
I respect that.
No Tom Cruise. Say no to Tom Cruise.
No.
That's just me. Thank you, Josh. All right, the next song is already on our list as well. Take It Easy by the Eagles.
Make your stand. Take it easy.
Yeah. That's hard to argue against. It's just such a chill but like good rhythm song.
Yeah, it's just good. It's just good. And the person who wrote this one in says because the Eagles.
Did you list the explanation for the Kenny Loggins song?
Oh, no, but it said no explanation needed.
Agreed.
So
But
yeah,
it still
we did move on.
That needed
You're
to be
right.
said. I kind of derailed you there. We got you all fired up with the Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, you did. I was all pissed off. I was gonna go on a rant. We'll talk about Scientology another day.
Sounds fun.
The church that isn't a church that gets a huge tax break. So anyway, yeah, Danger Zone, no explanation needed. Take It Easy because the Eagles. The next song is a song that I kind of wish I put on my list. I'm kind of like, oh damn. Well, what song would I have kicked out? I don't know. Maybe it couldn't have. More Human Than Human by White Zombie.
Yeah, that's a great song.
I love that song.
It's not a driving song for me, but it's a great. I like that song a lot. Am I wrong
I could
again?
drive to that. Yeah, you're wrong. That's a highway driving song when you're like passing cars and shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I love Rob Zombie. He is cool as shit. We've seen him in concert a few times up close. He's just a cool guy. He just doesn't give a shit. You know, he's just like, everyone put down your fucking phones and experience this without taking pictures. And what's everyone doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, taking video of him saying this. I mean, he was a cool guy. I kind of liked Rob Zombie before I went and saw him in concert. But then after I saw him in concert, I really liked him. Some people just have that presence, and yeah, it's cool.
I need to get back to going to concerts. I haven't been to concerts in a while. It's been a few years for me. The last one I was at was Kiss.
Yeah, I haven't been to one since COVID.
Yeah, same. But I mean, it was a few years before COVID for me, even. I think it was like 2016, 2017, somewhere in there, maybe.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It got so expensive. And now I live way out here. So it's like it's an hour and a half drive and
Yeah.
it's expensive. I'm like, I think Slipknot was coming. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to see Slipknot. But then I didn't that bad because I've already seen them 3 times. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've never seen them, but I'm not a huge Slipknot fan. I mean, I don't dislike them, but I mean,
They're really cool in concert. The stage presence, and there's so many drummers. Like if you're into drumming, they have I don't even know how many drum sets they got going on at once. It's crazy. It's cool. So in they're just the stage set and what's going on and the costumes and shit. It's really neat. So I recommend. All right, so the last song of the list, great song, More Than a Feeling by Boston.
yep. Same thing there. Like, we don't even need to go into like the main chorus. Like, everybody knows.
And if they don't, they're wrong. And there was no explanations behind this song or the White Zombie song. No explanation of why. No explanation needed. Just leave that shit blank.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good
No,
stuff.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's our number one song. So we got the whole shebang out there now.
So now we have to have some like brackets and lists going against lists. We have to figure that out.
Yeah, so we're gonna not do it next week because I'm just not gonna get to it. But we'll start the voting like maybe the last week of April, maybe even the first week of May if it gets delayed.
So can we make a list for each person on Spotify so they can like listen to one and listen to the other? The problem is Spotify, when you listen to the list, it mixes in other songs.
Yeah,
So do we do it through YouTube?
maybe. I'll just say this: I'm not doing any of that. So
So good luck, you figure that out.
you're welcome to. I got to do all the graphics for the tournament. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to communicate like what lists are going off against each other so I can stay ahead of it.
So I'm thinking I'm gonna randomly, just for voting purposes, instead of like list 1 and list 2, because like 1 is obviously going to have a implied favoritism. I'm going to Google obscure animal names, and those are going to be the person's name that you're voting for.
Giraffe or walrus?
Right. Mongoose or Tyrannosaurus Rex.
But isn't everyone just going to be biased towards the Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Potentially. So I'll have to figure out all right. Maybe it won't be animals. Maybe it'll be something else like
colors.
Yeah, that's a good.
Sorry.
I mean,
sorry. It's our point.
I mean, I can read the name of a color. I'm not illiterate. I'm just colorblind. So that could work.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The orange list against the blue list.
Yeah. I think that might be the way to go, actually.
All right. Okay.
Colors. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, we'll reveal who is behind the list.
Yep.
Once we have winners.
Yep.
And losers.
So like after you lose, what color are you? Like you go you I don't know.
I think you keep your color.
Yeah, you keep your color.
Okay, we'll figure that shit out. All right. Anything else going on in the powerlifting world?
This is it. This is the talk of the powerlifting world right now. The top 5 driving songs.
Should be like nothing about rules, nothing about like meets coming up that are, other than this one in Georgia. So that's all that matters.
Did we talk about the American record rule change right before the Arnold?
Not. No.
Oh, I mean, this is like old news now, but
not to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So they changed the rule that you can chip an American record regardless of what division you're in. So as an example, if you, Lara, as a masters lifter, or myself, if you're competing in the open division only, not even in the masters division, you can actually chip a masters record if you're eligible for it. And that will count. That obscure number will count towards your total in the open division. So here coming up soon at nationals, we're going to have lifters that are in the open and masters or whatever that are going to be able to do increments that other lifters can't do. And it could potentially be the difference in winning and losing the national meet. And it actually came into play at the Arnold finals a little bit too, because that extends to like not just age American records, like military American records, for example. You can chip So like there's a lot of people that were chipping that normally would not be able to chip. And in most cases it didn't matter, but in some it did. So I don't like that change, but something had to be done because, we were getting to the point where with the way the Pro Series was with everything being done by dots and now the Masters with aged dots, it was based on the way the rules were, it was getting to where nobody could ever chip. The solution, in my opinion, was to basically allow chipping within the same division when done by dots. So like open division being scored by dots could still chip open American records only. And it still be that, you can only chip if it exceeds every division you're in. And I think it was probably simpler and an easier solution, at least in the short term, to just say you can chip any record you're eligible for. But I think that creates a whole lot of competitive advantage issues, especially going into all these national meets coming up where they are by weight class, not by dots. So like the finals was all by dots. So it's like not as big of a deal, kind of. But like when you start going into these weight class battles and you have somebody that can chip a deadlift to move up placings that are not even anywhere close to the open American record or what other division they're in, just because they're in a division that has a low American record, then that's an unfair competitive advantage. And it takes away the lot number advantage. It takes away the body weight advantage. And I don't like it. But that's the rule, at least for now. I actually kind of thought they were going to change it. So they changed it. They announced the change like a week before the Arnold or something like that. And the like outrage on social media was so crazy. I thought they were going to actually maybe change it back even before the Arnold, but they haven't. And so to date, that's still the rule. Like you can chip any, you can chip any American record you're eligible for, but it still applies to only the meets that you're allowed to break American records at. So state, regional, national, and Pro Series meets are the only ones you can.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that it had a rule change in the middle of the year. Like, shouldn't it have gone to the NGB?
I don't. So I sent this to the technical committee a long time ago because there were things that were coming up with some of these meets by dots that were not allowing American records, or some of the people that were cross-entered into open and masters, for example, were trying to chip American records and they weren't allowed to by the rule. So I sent it to them like, hey, can we get clarification on it, when exactly you can chip and when you cannot, especially with these new Pro Series meets. And it was worked on, and to my knowledge, like something was a kind of idea put together, and it got sent to the EC, and they basically just said, let's make it just anybody can chip any record, because I think it was easier to implement. Should it have been done a long time ago? Yes. Should it probably have been done through the EC or through the NGB? Probably, but the problem is, like, that's kind of what the EC is for. It's to fix issues on the fly, because if we can only fix some of these things like once a year, like there's always going to be problems. And I think this was something the EC was justified in addressing. I'm not sure it was the best solution, but I'm not on the EC anymore. So if I was, I would have been arguing that to the end, just like my stubborn walking in the wrong direction. I would have stood my ground on that one.
And you would have played chicken.
Those are the hills I choose to die on. The changing of the American record policy and walking the wrong direction in traffic. That's it.
Yeah, mine's Scientology should just go away, and no one should be able to build a paintball field in a residential area.
The airing of grievances.
There'll be more next week.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think that's it for us. We haven't said this in a while, but don't forget to follow us on Instagram at PL Ballads Podcast. Shoot us an email if you have any questions, comments, concerns at plballadspodcast@gmail.com. We will get these lists together and start the voting fairly soon. The winner does win $100 worth of Team Rohr apparel. So some lucky schmuck is going to get some Team Rohr swag.
Yeah. How cool is that? It's going to be me.
Yeah.
My list is winning.
Could be. It's not going to be me.
That's right, because you didn't play. Well, have a great week, and we'll figure out how to do the playlists. I'll do some I'll ask the chatbot.
There you go.
Have a great week.
All right, you too. Later.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.